Today is Wednesday, September the 20th, 2017. I'm Keith Warr, and welcome to another episode of Homeless in Titusville. And being joined by, what is your name, sir?
My name's Chris.
Chris, and what's your last name, Chris?
My last name's Myers.
Myers. And how old are you?
I'm 58 years old.
58. And where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
Okay. And what brings you down here to Titusville?
I came to Titusville, I actually came to Vero for alcohol treatment. They flew me down, and I spent a certain amount of time there, and
Was this like a church or a business?
No. This was a serious rehab, and expensive, $2,100 a day.
And they flew you down here?
They flew me down here, and now this was something that my pastor up home recommended because I had issues with forgiveness. Okay, which had a big part to do with my life. But anyway, I ended up down here. I flew on a plane for the first time. I was petrified. I spent a 90-day program. I spent 60-some days, but with that program, they were supposed to have a sober living house for me, which they didn't have. So what happened was I ended up in limbo.
So they didn't really give you everything they promised you?
They did not. So I decided to, I started to regress. And I started getting into groups that I've already had. And I mean, they do that because of new people coming in.
Well, what was your situation? Did you go from like their facility directly to the streets?
No, they have a great program down there. I mean, it's faith-based. That's why I came here. Okay. And I mean, we had a separate living unit in Vero, and then the rehab itself was in Fort Pierce, and it was a beautiful facility. We had 3 pastors there. We had doctors. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But how long did you stay living at their condos or their whatever their situation, like outside of the rehab?
It was 60-some days, but it got to the point where I should have been put into sober living house,
right,
and it didn't happen. And what they did was they had 2 sober living houses, and they were looking for a third. But what they did was they took a couple guys that were troublemakers in the residence and put them into sober living, where that was my spot. And also what they did was they had guys coming from detox centers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, see, they didn't make any revenue out of that. So what they did was, while I was still there, they bought a property for...
Yeah, did they charge you for this, or was it free? Or
no, they didn't charge me for that. But what it did was it affected me to get into sober living. You know, did
they just kind of put you out on the street then?
They didn't put me on the street. I chose to go out on the street myself. I tried to find some sober living by myself through Alcoholics Anonymous. I met some really, really wonderful people, but it's like you want to go down and live on a beach in Fort Pierce for $800 a month and share a room with somebody and still have to pay for your own food and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
$800 a month, here in Titusville, you can get an apartment for $315 a month.
Well, what's your income situation? Do you draw
No.
Social Security disability?
I do not.
You have pension from a job?
I do not. I as sick as I am, I really, I can still work. But the thing is, I did concrete for 17 years, and when I came down here, it would have been my 14th year doing blacktop.
Well, you said you were sick, so tell us about your health. What is going on with your health as of today?
I have liver cancer.
Okay.
I have type 2 uncontrolled diabetes.
And
I have my horse and lords. Of course, my back's very bad from the type of work I did all my life.
Are you getting any help
I have the beginnings of glaucoma
from the diabetes?
from diabetes, and that was, I found that out back in March, when I was still in Pennsylvania. I'm physically fit, Al. I put a lot of miles on this thing. This thing keeps me alive, but it's my insides that.
You're very sick. You are very sick.
Oh, I'm sick.
You have a lot of weakness. Are you tired a lot? Like how are you living day to day homeless on the street as sick as you are? How are you maintaining? How are you making it?
It's a sad thing. Like most of the homeless people here, they have their little spots where nobody will bother them, and they're safe and stuff like that. That's what we do.
Well, how are you staying safe, or like where are you laying your head at night? Are you living in the woods?
Well,
is somebody letting you stay in their house?
I can't tell you that. There is a place where sometimes I can lay my head,
Right.
but most of the time I sleep on a park bench. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
as far as food, I can really get all the food that I want, but the thing is, I can't cook it.
Right.
So, but
So what kind of places provide you with food? Like, where have you generally gone?
there's so many great places. Because I don't have a Florida ID, I have to go to places where they don't ask for anything. And
So like a faith base, because you can't go to a government thing like the state.
you know what, I have, and I've been given a hard time, but they still gave me food because they want proof of residency, and because I go up to Denise and Sandy's and I sleep up there, a couple times a week. They want their information, and without that, you can't get nothing.
Right, because if you're homeless, how do you establish residency in order to get things like food stamps
Okay.
and Social Security?
I just found that out. I was looking for social services for weeks, and it's like I had all these people give me directions, and they were wrong. I finally met a man right down here under this pavilion, Jimmy. He lives out in the island. He's homeless. He's been living out there for 2 years. He canoes over here like once a week, and he uses the charger to charge his radio and his phone, and then he goes up to the grocery store, and then he canoes back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's been other homeless people that have helped you out and given you reliable information, not
information, but I pretty much now, as long as I've been here, I have all the information I need. But like yesterday, I was down here yesterday, and I met this young kid and this guy that was like heading up through the Keys, and I went to a food bank and I actually gave him food. You know what I mean? The people I live with, God bless their hearts, they're reluctant to get in their car and drive to the food bank.
Do you get food stamps, or?
I actually had an appointment yesterday, and I wish I would have done this sooner because it's as far as my insurance, you know what I mean?
What do you have for insurance? How do you get your medicines? How do you get treated?
I don't get.
Do you go to Brevard Health Alliance? Do you go to the emergency room?
No, Brevard is actually my PCP, and I don't get charged over there, but I had chest x-ray, I had an ultrasound, I had blood work 3 times. That was all apparently covered, but I have hepatitis C, which is actually stage 1 cancer now. So I went to, we have a specialist in town, Dr. Chen, but it's the only one in this town. Well, they turned down my Medicaid, and I got a phone call that was, I don't know exactly when they called Sandy. Sandy's phone is my number. So I decide, because I come in town, I go to Dr. Chen's, and there's no doctors there, but they were offering me a consultation to help me get medicine.
How much do you have to pay for medicines?
The medicine, well, now the 3 medicines that I have in here, my lisinopril is $12. That's for my blood pressure, and it also it helps with kidney infection. And then I have meloxicam is for, because I have type 2 uncontrolled diabetes. My feet, I've been out of that. So even though I'm riding a bike, my feet like they're on fire. And then the phenofibrate is for my cholesterol.
Yeah.
Because my heart's enlarged. That's them 2 pills alone are like almost $100 out of pocket. The lisinopril, and I was actually surprised. I didn't realize it was so cheap. It's $12 out of pocket, and that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
get.
but if you don't have any income, like $12 might as well just be $1 million. Like
Exactly.
how are you affording it?
Listen, I
How are
can't.
you getting your medicine?
I cannot show these papers to you, but I have. They got what? I have a list of medicines that I don't even have half of the medicine that I actually need. You know what I mean?
Because you can't afford it. What kind of medicines are you going without? What are you doing without? And how is it affecting you?
Well, nothing. No pain medicine.
Right, okay.
Like 800 milligram ibuprofen
Okay.
for my back. I done construction all my life. My back kills me. Now I did get some. It's called gabapentin. Now I had a church help me up here in town. They helped me get a couple medicines. The gabapentin is more like a.
It helps block the nerve. It's a
Right, it's a
sometimes
nerve medicine, but it's not a pain
anti-seizure.
medicine.
Right, I'm familiar with it. I know what gabapentin is.
I need a inhaler that's. I have asthma. I have an inhaler, but because it's so humid down here.
And I'm not picking on you, but I did
Don't even
mention
go
you
there.
smoking.
Listen, I got so much shit on my plate. If I couldn't smoke, I'd kill somebody.
I hear you. I hear you.
I wish I could show you. It's in here, but it's soaking wet now.
All right.
I mean,
well, what about family? Do you have any family? Do you have any children?
Oh
Do
my
you have
God,
any brothers,
yeah.
sisters that
I
would
have,
help you?
I have. I talked to my sister last night. To tell her I had cancer. I have 2 sons. I have a daughter. I have 6 grandchildren. And I have 2 brothers. My father's 84. He's still alive.
Wow.
But when I came here,
Are they all up in Pennsylvania?
yeah,
Do you think your life would be better if you went back home to Pennsylvania?
no. I came down here to start a whole new life. And
Look, I don't want to be rude and I don't want to be blunt, but
Yeah,
have the
well, just
doctors
be
given
careful.
you? Have they given you like a timetable? Have the doctor said,
No,
you'll be around 2 years,
listen.
3 years?
no, it ain't nothing like that. It's they have what do you call it? It's a chemo pill. You know what I mean? All I gotta do is take that for like 12 weeks, and they can get rid of my cancer.
So you can be cured.
I can be cured.
You can.
Oh, absolutely.
If you get the proper treatment.
Right. I can be cured. And if, like I said, here's my problem. And I had to go back to Bavard Health Alliance, and they're great people, man. They're wonderful people. They have the nurse practitioners, female nurse practitioners, or they're more thorough than a male doctor.
I would agree with that.
Now,
I would agree with that.
I have a great doctor up home. I have a great doctor up home. We don't have the nurse practitioners and all that stuff like they do here, and anyways, when I found out my Medicaid was shot down at Dr. Chin's, I had to go back to Bavard to get another referral because I can't get this medicine without a doctor. Well,
Right.
there's only one liver specialist in Titusville. So
how-
I have a
does
list.
he
I have a
accept
list. I actually was there for a consultation, but I did get weighed. I lost 16 pounds since August 9th.
Wow.
And it wasn't just from riding my bike. But anyways, there was this wonderful, wonderful lady that works at Bavard, and she wrote everything down for me. She gave me a list of, I got my referral, which is soaking wet now, so I have to go back to them because it's useless. 17 liver doctors in Melbourne. You know what I mean?
And how would you get to Melbourne? You don't have a
Well,
car.
here's
You
the
can't
thing.
ride a bike.
Well, I'm not going to ride my bike then.
No, that would be insanity.
Well, the thing is with if you can get social services, you get insurance down here through Florida State. They have it's called Logisticare. You can anybody. You can call them and make arrangements, but it's for doctor appointments.
Right,
And they
right.
will pick you up and they'll take you to the doctors and they will bring you back, which is one good thing about the state insurance down here.
So do you feel like this is all going to work out for you, or do you feel like you don't know what your future is? Like do you have hope that this is all going to work out?
I know what my future is, and I mean what I want it to be. And there's a metal company up here by Parish Hospital. It's called Synergy Metals. And when I first got here, I started coming down the path, and I was hitting all them places, filling out applications. Well, Synergy, I bugged him because I can't work outside no more, and I sure as hell can't do blacktop. I mean, I'm still,
With your health, I don't understand how you could hold
I
a
know-
job at all.
well, I'm still not necessarily physically fit. I mean, I feel good,
Obviously.
but all my problems are on the inside. I mean, but I had an application down there and I had a short interview, and that was weeks ago. And I went in there every week and I bugged this dude Derek, and Derek's a wonderful guy, and it was kind of sad because after the storm, I kind of knew that there was going to be plenty of people who needed help.
Yeah, what did you do for the hurricane? Did you go to a shelter? What did you do? Like, how did you survive it?
Well, the girls I stay with, they ended up taking off, and they went to go stay with their friends that owned a brick home like a couple blocks from where her mobile home is. Well, it was an old mobile home, and I was never so scared in my life
I'll bet.
because I'm used to blizzards.
I'll bet. Yeah.
But we got through it, and I mean, the house shook a couple times, and it's like I basically for 2 days while the wind was blowing, I stood up. I didn't sit in a chair or nothing like that. I was drinking cold coffee. I was running water through the coffee pot cold because I had no electric. And
Sound like you were desperate for a cup of coffee
it's not what it was.
to run it through a filter cold.
Yeah, but we got through it. But the shitty thing about that is, and I don't want to talk bad about the girls.
Right.
Ever since I've lived here, and the second day that I lived here, I met them back here in this pavilion walking their dog, and this great pit bull Bowie. I mean, and I had a beef jerky.
Okay.
And I said, can I give your dog a beef jerky? And I mean, it's like he turned into my buddy like instantly. Well, I've been up there for, like I said, it's a couple days a week. I can go up there and sleep, and I can take a shower and stuff like that. I can't really live there full time. And
Right.
I mean, I pretty much do what I'm doing now until later in the evening. Then I can go up there, and they went to their friend Donnie and Michelle's, and basically 80% of the food that was in the house was from me going to the food bank, and they took everything.
So are they in need themselves? I take it they're not
They're
wealthy
not,
people.
because-
Are they wealthy? I mean, they're
No.
living in a mobile. I don't think they're very
both in
wealthy.
disability. Sandy's got 2 artificial hips. Denise has been on an insulin pump for like the last 4 or 5 years, and she's also got other issues with
So they're just as bad off as you are, and here they have giving hearts, and they're trying to help you
They
best
do have giving hearts. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, we have our issues and stuff like that, and we had a bad night last night, but it happens.
We talking about arguments. We talking about stresses.
Well,
not that you have to give anything
no,
personal
I just
away, but
pissed off about, before I got the bike, and I only got the bike a couple weeks ago, to earn my little spot on the sofa, it takes me above the hospital. There's a little store, and then there's Winn-Dixie. With the way my feet are, it takes me an hour just to walk in town, and it's not even a mile.
right.
But for the longest time, I walked all over the city to go to the food banks and to take food back to them just to earn my little spot and everything, but they really didn't appreciate it. And I'm waiting to start work, but I still got to go to the food bank. They get I think $26
In
a
food
month
stamps
for
a
food
month?
stamps,
Right.
and their disability. See, I think it's like $1,400 a month, but the thing is, I don't know where it all goes. I can honestly tell you that I don't think Denise sees any of it. And she's got HDAD and all kinds of crazy shit, but $1,400 for a trailer it's paid for, and the lot rent's $400.
That's not a lot of money. That is not a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money, but the thing is, what is she doing with it? That's the thing.
So let me ask you this: what is the item that you are struggling with the most? Do you need clothes? Do you need shoes?
Well, I got this great neighbor, Gene. He's such a nice guy, and he had lent me a couple bucks a while back to get some cigars and stuff like that. And I cleaned up his yard. He took off for the storm, and I cleaned up his yard for him. And just because he, bought me some cigars and everything, and he gave me these sneakers. Sneakers I had.
And do they fit you well? Are they the right size?
Well, not really. They're actually a little bit too small, but they have a little bit of an arch, and really not much, but that's with neuropathy. You can't wear a flat shoe sneaker. And there's a thrift store over here in town, and the pair of sneakers I had were really just making my feet hurt, and I went in there, and there's wonderful two old ladies. There was a pair of they were Dr. Scholl's. They were like orthopedic sneakers. I said, would you just let me trade my sneakers for these? And they did. But
that was very nice of them.
Oh my God, they're sweethearts. I stop in every once in a while just to say hi to them, but the thing is, like a week later or so, they started falling apart.
Well.
So, Gene, I was in Gene's one day, and I seen all these sneakers laying around. I said, you know what? I said, I really need a pair of sneakers. He said, you can have these.
What
Chris.
size sneakers do you wear?
Well, I mean, I'm a 6 foot, but the thing is, I got small feet. I wear like a 10 and a half.
10 and a half?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, is there anything that you think the viewers should know that we haven't covered about being homeless here in Titusville? Is there some issue or struggle that you think people should know?
Well, most of the people that I know that homeless, they fare well, but they camp.
Right.
They got tents and they camp, and I don't even know where.
Right.
There's like quite a few of them that we befriended each other. Like my friend, I gave him a bunch of food yesterday. Food that I got from up at the church.
Right.
Just to help this poor fellow out and everything. But you don't hear a lot of complaints. But they have a law in the state that if you're trying to panhandle money, it's illegal for somebody to.
Right. They'll call it soliciting. But if you have a sign that says
no,
"fuck
it's not.
you," that's
it's not soliciting.
That's free
it's not what it is.
Well,
You know,
I've
when
heard
you-
it's soliciting.
When you go up to somebody and you say, hey, could you help me out with $3 because I need some life-sustaining medicine? That ain't soliciting. That's trying to save your fucking life.
Yeah, right, right.
And I've had a church help me, and here's my problem. The church helped me. Now, my life-sustaining medicines are free. My lisinopril and my metformin, which is for my diabetes, that's free. But now I don't have a copay no more. So I can't even get the free stuff.
Wow. So listen, let me ask you.
I mean, what I'm saying is that I should be able to go in the pharmacy and take this vial in here and for my blood pressure and get it filled
Right.
for free
Right.
without a prescription.
So, if one of your family members or friends were to see this video, do you have any message for any of them? Is there anything any messages you have?
No,
for
there's
anybody?
really none. I mean, basically my family, my children, you know, I've talked to my children and I told them that I'd really like to stay down here and start my life over, and they don't have a problem with it. And now my sister got a little upset because I wasn't being honest about the cancer. And my grandmother, my mom, my oldest brother, who was my best friend, who October 27th, it'll be a year since he passed away from the same thing that I have. But no, I don't call my family, I don't ask for help, you know, I really don't even talk to them a lot. You know, I try to stay in touch with my sister, but
Well, listen, you know, I appreciate you sharing your story with me. And if the viewers out there, if somebody wanted to reach out to you and they had some kind of help, or they wanted to help you with medicine, or they knew an answer to one of your issues, how could we get a hold of you? Where could we find you?
okay, well, I mean, I usually stop here every day because I just love being by the water.
So we're at Sandpoint Park in Titusville.
Yeah, and normally I go way out here to the pavilion by the back of the marina because that's my favorite spot and that's where I get my serenity at. I just love it there, and looking at the yachts and the cabin cruisers, and believe me, there's a community out there. A lot of them people live in them boats. It's kind of like a dream. I'm serious.
Not my dream. Not my dream.
I would love to live in a boat, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm good. I mean, I struggle sometimes, and I mean, I've never had anybody really screw with me down here or anything. I had a guy steal my fishing rod. I haven't caught him yet, but no, I mean, I'm okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I mean, more importantly than anything is trying to keep my medicines filled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you sharing your story with us.
Man, let me tell you something. When I see this on YouTube, you better do it right, dude. I mean, you better.
I will. I promise you.
I'm telling you right now, you better do some editing and all this shit.
Thanks for watching.